Liars. You're all liars. I mean no offense by saying that, but it's true. If any of you guys have recently been asked, how are you? You more than likely responded with a quick good. And for at least a couple of you, that was a straight up lie. You have anything from exams, projects, relationship problems, family issues, or health concerns to deal with. But you mask it all with the word good. There's another word that can be used to describe all of these. It's stress. And today, I'm going to tell you why stress is a problem, why it can't easily be fixed, and ultimately give my solution to combating the stress problem. So it's crazy to think of just how busy college students are today. You've likely seen the Pick 2 triangle, a joke floating around that says college students can only have two of the following three things: good grades, enough sleep, or a good social life. But let's think about that for a second. You're taking 3 hours of classes a day. And all of those classes require at least an hour outside of class. There's your 8 hours for good grades. If you want to get 8 hours of sleep, there goes another 8 hours. That leaves you with 8 hours to do everything else you want to do. Hygiene, relationships, extracurriculars, jobs, food, nights out, Netflix addictions, deep talks. All of these limited to 8 hours. This leaves college students feeling beyond overwhelmed and overly stressed. And most college students get these feelings. According to an Associated Press report, 85% of college students report feeling stressed at some point in the semester. And one in every 10 of these students is at the point where they're debating suicide. These numbers don't mean anything, however, until it happens to you. While I never debated suicide, I did get to a breaking point. It was about a year and a week ago. I had absolutely no idea where I wanted to go to college, and I had a Calc 3 test the next day I was almost certainly going to fail. Everybody was asking me what I wanted to do with my life, but I didn't even know what I wanted for breakfast the next morning. I was reaching a breaking point. That breaking point came in the second or third inning of that game after a horrific call by one of the umpires. I barely lost it in that moment, and a couple tears went rolling down my cheeks. My dad saw these tears, and he was absolutely furious. He started yelling at me for crying on the ball field, and the moment he shouted that first word, I absolutely lost it. I turned around, took about 10 steps back, and just started sobbing on the baseball field in front of everybody. And it was absolutely the best thing I could have done. People became more aware and started seeking to help me. People wanted to spend time with me, help me feel more comfortable, and I was incredibly appreciative of that. I could answer "how are you" with more than just "okay" and actually talk about my life problems. But that didn't last for long. The big problem with countering stress nowadays is a large social norm of not talking that it combats. Just talking to others can help people receive the support, reassurance, or assistance they need to counter their stress. But instead, they save this all up and just share it with their closest friends. We grow up on principles of being polite and not forcing our problems upon others. And as a result, we bottle up and don't let it be known when we're feeling stressed. And if you answer "how are you" in more than just a couple words, people get annoyed and feel like you're giving too much information. That leads to us bottling up and instead just dumping everything on a couple of our closest friends. And then, of course, in order to avoid looking needy, we stop talking about our problems for a week or two. And unless you have a bunch of close friends, this leads to you bottling up things. And as a result from that, you start to deal with communication issues, which results in even more stress, which all plays part of a deadly cycle that has no obvious escape. According to a report from USA Today, the most important skill for new graduates looking for a job are people skills, and the third most important skills are oral communication skills. The report goes on to say 52% of recent college grads lack the people skills, while 41% lack the oral communication skills. This leads to problems reading people and expressing their inner thoughts, i.e., figuring out a person is stressed and talking about your stress. This results in even more built-up stress and a continuation of the aforementioned cycle. So how do we beat this cycle? If you go to the university, they'll recommend the counseling and psychiatric services or obtaining healthier habits like good time management. But if that was all it took, stress would be a problem of the past. I have a much simpler, yet much more grandiose solution to the stress problem. We need to break a social norm. We need to be open. We need to go from a tendency to bottle up to a tendency to share. We need to go from we need to discuss our problems and listen to others. Just discussing our problems prevents that bottling up and improves communication skills, ultimately helping beat the stress cycle. Genuine conversation, just having genuine conversation and simply sharing our thoughts can lead to more healthy and what? Can lead you to feeling more healthy and relaxed. So I want to leave you now with two very simple things. A quote and a plea. The quote from author Shannon L. Alder goes a little something like this. Your words will either give you peace or give you sorrow. But if they were spoken without regret, forget that. Your words will either give you joy or give you sorrow. But if they were spoken without regret, they give you peace. My plea, live peacefully. Be open. Thank you very much.